Greetings everyone, Zahir is here. Today I'm gonna show you and share with you my state machine system for the anti-air creatures weapon. I've shared with you before on LinkedIn the state machine of my little creatures here, like they are moving and doing some idle animation, running away and attack. And now I'm going to share with you the same state machine more in depth a little bit for this weapon. So first of all, let's take a look about my state machine system. Simply, my state machine system is consists of two components, states and transitions. These circles are the states, which we have here 5 states for the anti-air weapon, which is shutdown, guarding, aiming, shooting, and destroyed. Each state has transition to the other states according to the possibilities. For example, in the shutdown, we have 3 transitions for 3 cases, which is from shutdown to guarded if it was activated, from shutdown to aiming, or from shutdown to destroyed, to aiming if it had directly an enemy to shoot, destroyed if it got destroyed for sure. Now, with that said, I would note that this, I'm calling it in my system the origin state, and these are the transitions. Now, let's go to my code and see how is that happening here. So here in the data, I have a class called security weapon state machine data, which is a scriptable object that represents the data or the state machine that I'm gonna link them together. So here I have a list of state data, and state data is consists of the original state and its transitions, as we said. If this is the origin state, then it has 3 transitions. Same for the other 4 states. Now let's see that in Unity. As you can see here, if I select my weapon, or if I select my data here for the state machine, you can see that I have here 5 states in my data. Shutdown, guarding, aiming, shooting, destroyed. And each one of them has his transitions. Shutdown has 3 transitions to guarding, aim, and destroyed. And I have a little property here called can interrupt, because some states are more important than other state and they can interrupt. For example, if he was guarding and then suddenly an enemy came, then he gonna start aiming directly without waiting for the guarding animation to be finished. Now with that said, let's take a look about how is this working. Now my weapon right now is doing some guarding, because I'm gonna unmute this, because right now my weapon is waiting for me to shoot one of the creatures, and then they're gonna start aiming and defending the base. So if I go here real quick and shoot a creature, I'm missing. Okay, now my weapon is gonna start shooting actually. As you can see here, my weapon has this red ray gas that represents the enemy that he's shooting at. And if I select the weapon now and I see its state, you're gonna see that its state is guarding for now, and see, it's aiming now because it catched an enemy. Of course, it turns to attack also, but it's really quick, so we don't see it. And with that, my state machine system is functioning between these couple of states, and it's really powerful system, because right now I don't have to go through if else conditions and get stuck and messy with some, I know. I don't have to care about the cases to be interacted with each other, because none of the cases will go to the other cases without fulfilling one condition. So let's go more in depth in my system. I'm gonna mute this. Let's go more in depth into to my system and see here, my state machine is really simple. I have here a property which called current state, represents the current state of the weapon. I have here a dictionary of states. As we said, each state has a couple of transitions. And here another list of states, not maybe not needed for you. It depends on what are you using it for. But here I'm linking the state with enum. That's why I've used it. The object to animate, because my system is generic, as you can see. So I'm using this for system for state mesh for creatures and weapons. That's why it's object to animate generic. So when the state machine starts and get awake and get initiated by the weapon or by the creature, it set the object to be animated. For this case, it's security weapon or the creature. That's a wrong name. I should rename it to the animated object, but never mind. Here we have the create states. So after we get the object that we want, we create the states and then we link them together by transition. Now let's take a look about the create states. I have here two overrides, one for the creature and one for the security weapon. In case of the security weapon, I have here five classes because I have 5 cases. I create a new class of each one of them and add them to the state transitions with an empty transitions for now. I'm just creating the states. Then after that, once we create the states, we link them like this way. We go through the state data of each state and we get the transitions and we get them by, like we say, origin. Okay, this is your type. Get me all the transitions that have that type or that state as a destination. Then I add them back to the dictionary and that's it. My system is linked and created. Now, with the states and transitions are created and ready to be used, let's see how the state machine is using them actually. So here in the update function, I'm calling the tick function. It's just a different name. And in the tick function, we are checking the current state because the current state is being set in the initial call. And we say, hey, if you are active, get the tick function. I'm gonna tell you why we are doing this later. And here is the important stuff. I'm going through the current state transitions. As we said here, each state has a transitions, right? And I'm saying, hey, find me all transitions that can or their transitions is possible. What does that mean? Like to go from one state to another, you have to fulfill these conditions. You see them, for example, to go from guardian to aiming, you have to fulfill the target detected condition. So in the transition, I'm telling him, hey, can you be or are you possible to transition? I go to this function and it's actually asking the destination state because as we said, the transition is linking two states between each other, the origin state and the destination state. So he's asking the destination state, hey, can you be activated? For example, if we are going from garden to aiming, we are saying, hey, can you be activated? And by this we say like, hey, do you have a target detected? And if it returned yes, true, then okay, we add it to the possible transitions. Now here we have some priority in the transitions. Not all transitions are on the same priority. As if you remember here, I said like we have this toggle can interrupt boolean thing here because like when you are gonna go, sorry, I'm keep opening that. When you're gonna go from the garden to aiming, you gonna interrupt the garden state and go directly to aiming state. Why? Because like imagine Your weapon is doing some garden thing and rotating, just chilling, and the enemy came and he's still guarding. Well, that's not good. You need him to aim directly on the enemy to start shooting, right? So that's why this transition should be interrupt. And by that, we check first of all, out of these possible transitions, we see, hey, if you are can interrupts, get me the first one or the first transition that can interrupt the origin state. If it's found, then okay, activate the destination state directly. Now, if we couldn't find any transitions that can interrupt, then we say, okay, that means we're gonna wait for the origin state to be finished. We say, okay, if the current state is still not finished, still active, return. Once it's finished, we go to the through the transitions and we get the first one directly that is possible to take us to the next state and we activate it. That's pretty much how the state machine works. It's pretty simple. It gives some priority for the transitions that can interrupt. Then it gets the normal transitions by certain order. Now let's take a look about the state actually. The state is pretty simple also. It has a couple of cases which are activated, fulfilled, interrupt, and a tick which is like same of the update function. I'm just calling it a tick here because it's being called by different place. And I have here some overrides or inheritors. I have a lot of them because they are for creatures and the security weapon. I'm gonna take one randomly. For example, I'm gonna say like shooting state here. As you can see, the shooting mechanic or the shooting logic, all of it is gonna be here. So I don't have to care about anything else when a bug happen in my shooting system. I'm gonna know like, hey, this class is not functioning properly. I'm not gonna go any other places. So that's why this system is really powerful. Like here on activation, I'm just setting the fire rate and tell the object to shoot a rocket. Then I fulfill the state directly because that's a really simple one. But for example, if I go to garden state, here you can see that on activation I get a random target position, so I get my state weapon randomly rotate. I get the rotation and positioning on all of that stuff, and it's all happening in one class. Like the garden is all happening in one class. If any error happened in garden, I will just come back here. I don't have to care about anything else. So that was a really quick presentation for this system. I don't want to go more deep into details because I don't want the video to be really long. But yeah, I hope that you got a good knowledge from my system. And if you got any question or you want any more detail and depth, please drop a comment or contact me directly. Have a good day.